All right.
Welcome to Drawing Hive.
All right, welcome everybody. It's Thursday. And what do we do on Thursday? We draw. So, welcome to the Drawing Hive. If you don't know, Drawing Hive is brought to you by Visual Arts Passage. We are an online mentorship program that helps people develop careers, finish portfolios and bodies of work for the illustration world and the fine arts world. We are currently enrolling. Our semester kicks off this weekend, so there's still opportunity. We are very good at what we do. So check us out. I'm sure you'll hear more about it later on tonight. So topic at hand, we got Guillermo del Toro characters, which are fabulous, all part of our vernacular as artists of things that we've seen and explored and loved. He's been a great supporter to a lot of artists I know. Um, and we got some great stuff to draw. So from the new Frankenstein movie, we got the creature here. We also have the creator, Victor Frankenstein, or Frankenstein, however you want to.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Whatever Frankenstein movie you're beholden to tends to be mine.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple other really, Ron Perlman as Hellboy here. And,
Yeah.
I thought was so interesting. It's hard pressed to find a Del Toro movie and not find Doug Jones in it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Like,
always a creature in his movies. Yeah.
So,
Also, I have a question. Julian, are you happy? We posted the image and Julian immediately was like, pretty sure we've used that image before. So we swapped it out. We're crowd pleasers here.
yeah, thank you for pointing it out, Julian. My memory, I knew we had drawn him. I just didn't remember which one.
Yeah, it's impossible. This is
So,
episode 1000.
you can see we got 4 references. We do 3 poses, two 20-minute poses, and then one longer pose, which sometimes is like 45 minutes. Try to get them all in. Try to use this as a gym. And I do my thing. I know the other artists on camera do their thing, and I use it. I mean, I really do use it for value of just like playing and having fun. So, and trying to learn something. So I'm ready to draw. I hope everybody else is. Timmy,
Yeah.
take over here.
Yeah, last thing I would just want to remind everybody is yeah, the whole point of this is to draw with us. You can ask questions, you can control the conversation by bringing up anything. We will talk about it. You can ask, I really recommend asking questions to get the most out of this. Please draw with us, though. There are people that have been drawing with us for 5 years now. They've got stacks of drawings that are taller than me, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot. And please share your work with us. Join us on Discord. Discord is where we're going to be sharing our work tonight. I want to see it. You'll post it at the end of the night, and I'm going to show all of it. We're going to stream it on the show. It's my favorite part. We get to see everything. No hashtags to worry about. If you do tag me in a story, I will repost it on Instagram, though. So if you do that, we will always reshare it. Sometimes it can be hard to find all that stuff. I did drop a link to the Discord, and I'm going to do it one more time in case you just got in here. I really recommend joining. It's an awesome community. We just made it discoverable this week, which is exciting. So a lot of new people have been joining the server. So
That's exciting.
it is exciting. Like a lot, I'm having to figure out how to moderate it a lot. Like I'm kind of nervous. But yeah.
How's everybody's week been going?
Mine's been good. John, Scott, how are you guys?
Timmy, you could probably answer for me.
John's been John's been working hard.
I
John's
bet.
been doing portfolio reviews. A
Mm.
couple weeks ago on Drawing Hive, I said everybody sign up for portfolio reviews, and John's schedule,
Got
um,
stacked.
yeah, like like we have 5 minute. It's just John coming up for air. We have like a 2 minute catch up call, and then he's like, and then I can hear the Zoom meeting ding. He goes, I
Wow.
gotta go. Another person in the room.
Yeah, I'll have
You
done
you love
tomorrow
it though, right?
afternoon. I'll have done 25 this week.
Wow.
Which they're in
That's a
depth call.
lot,
They're very in depth conversations. They're not. It's not like looks good. See you later.
right?
Yeah. And John, you love it, right?
Can hardly wait to get up in the morning.
He's joking.
I don't
He's
dislike it.
joking.
I
Yeah.
don't dislike it. And I spoke with a individual today
Yeah.
that, you know, they sent a few pieces and they started to talk to me. I asked them what they were interested, where they're headed, and why they're wanted to talk to me in the first place. And then
Hmm.
they showed me like a whole body of work that just blew me away.
Oh,
I
that's
mean, I
Hmm.
was
wonderful.
just shocked at how good it was.
Yeah.
And um, I think we'll probably see them as a student. I'm pretty excited about it.
What do
Cassandra,
you
they're
when
interested
someone
in fine arts.
when someone has a portfolio that's like that like hits you like that, John? Like, what do you do? What do you say? Do you just say, I
Well,
mean, you,
in this individual's case, most of it was just uh, they haven't really figured out their audience yet. They haven't figured
yeah,
out where this is going to land.
yeah,
Hmm.
And that was kind of my message to them. It's like, hey, and that's something we do all the time. We can help you identify that. I actually used Cassandra as the example. Went to Cassandra's website and said, hey, here's an artist that really has a strong voice and has identified, the audience. And, you can go through the website and you definitely know that all of this work is coming from one place. And, Cassandra obviously is having a lot of success right now. And it's because she's really addressed that. And so, trying to explain to artists that this isn't always about just being better at the drawing board or at the easel, wherever you work. It's about really considering, your options, identifying an audience, and having a plan to get there. And so, it's not
Well,
all about just drawing and painting. I'll tell you that much.
well, thanks,
I'm
John. That's nice that I was an example. That means a lot.
I'm just gonna let
Laura,
everybody know. I just opened the chat, so let us know where you're tuning in from and what materials you're drawing with.
Also, set it to everyone so that
Yes.
everyone can see your comment because that's always great too.
Thank God you're here, Cassandra. It because they just roll in and it says host and panelists, and I just know people are like, nobody watches. It's like, who's watching?
Right, right. And there's
Yeah,
so many wonderful people here, and we just want you
yeah.
all to see each other and be able to chat.
And Discord has been awesome. I'm like already planning out new channels on Discord because so many people are joining. It's very exciting. So thank you for the new people that are, and also thank you for like giving this a try if it's your first time. Tonight, my mom said she's gonna draw.
Oh, yay!
I saw her.
Wow.
It drives me nuts.
Yay!
She tunes in all the time. I'm gonna look and see if she's in if she's in the attendee
Yeah.
list.
she's more than capable.
Yeah, she's here, so she can hear me.
Yay!
Everybody in the chat, please say, Patty, you have to draw and you have to text it to Timmy so he can share it.
Patty,
Mama
we want to see what
Trayvon.
you do.
Yeah, say,
Okay.
Mama Trayvon, you have to draw with them. You've been doing this for a long time. Somebody said, hi, Mom. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Come on, Timmy's mom. Yeah. Thank you. Nice. Draw for us, Queen. I love it. She is a queen.
Well, she's been tuning in. She is
She's my
amazing.
biggest, she's definitely my biggest fan. Which is great. and she's not a, she's not a fair weather fan. She hangs out through some of the loser years, which is great about, great about a good mom, you know?
The mom of integrity.
Yeah, mom with integrity. She liked the Chiefs when they were terrible, and she likes them now. Same deal with me. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like the Chiefs, so get over that. It's my mom's thing. But
Patty, I want to address her for a moment. Your son is like a brother to me, which I guess makes you honorary mom. So it's nice to finally meet you.
that's great. So I'm really excited about, just to, for anybody new tonight, this is kind of a loose beginner, because John, don't you have kind of a constructive talk you were going to do at the top, or is that for another night?
Oh, no,
Are we pushing that?
no, I just have an educational talk.
Okay, that's
An
perfect.
artist tonight.
No, that's great, because we have the deck is stacked tonight. We have scary stories planned. And
Yeah.
we have two really great submissions that I'm going to read tonight. And I want to encourage everybody, please do scary stories. For
Submit them.
Yeah, I want to do it
We
all.
want to
I
read your
really
stories.
I want to do it all month. So please, the rules are 100 words or less. And then like the second rule is no rules. Do whatever you want. If it's good, we're gonna do it anyway. But 100 words or less makes it a bit easier to read. But follow your heart. If it's really good, I'm gonna read it. And if you do characters, I'll do voices.
Mm.
As long as they're tasteful. That's a big commitment. Yeah. We got Adam here, Scott, Cassandra. Adam, what are you up to?
Hey. In general,
Yeah, no, what have you been drawing?
um, I've been doing studies of that major portrait commission that I've got to do.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so far still scaring me a little bit, but I'll get over it.
Adam, I'm on a job right now that's scaring me too, so I can totally relate.
Good. Whew. I mean, not good that you're scared, but good that,
Yeah.
Yeah, I,
So
I
it's exciting.
I went and met the couple the other day, and it didn't make me less scared. They're nice.
I know all of those feelings. I see you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just it makes it more personal when you like get to know who you're making it for and you don't want to disappoint them. So that's
Right.
it's good because it means you care, but it's hard. That's why I laughed.
That's you could laugh at me or with me. I accept all forms of
It's
joy.
more I've been there, I understand. Good luck, Godspeed, friends.
Yeah. No, thanks, guys.
Same to you, Scott, on your challenging project ahead.
It's a cover for Deadline. It's similar to Hollywood Reporter. It's like, Hollywood Magazine, and it just involves drawing a bus and multiple likenesses all frolicking together. And it's just one of those where when I said yes, I was like, well, this will stretch me because I don't really know how to do this. So let's just say yes and figure it out, right?
Yeah.
That's what Brett Watkinson always told us to do in Illustration Academy. Like he was like, I would just say yes, and then I would just learn on the fly.
Exactly. That's it.
At what point have you guys had to train yourselves to say no or no?
I think I've said no to someone once.
Yeah.
I've definitely said no several times.
Yeah.
I both either because there's just too much work going on, and
Yeah.
my willingness to like drive myself into the ground is a little less these days, and I think when you're young and you've got the endurance for it, go for it, and
Yeah.
especially if you don't have a family yet, you don't have as many life responsibilities,
Yeah.
why not? But yeah, now I'm at a stage where it's kind of like if there's too much work piled up, I'll just be honest with our art director and say, hey, if I
Yeah.
said yes, I'm not necessarily going to do my best job. But there probably has been at least I'm gonna guess just off the top of my head, at least 3 or 4 times where I've turned down a job where I could just tell, like, I'm just not the right fit. Like, you don't want me,
Oh,
you know?
really?
And yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, where like somebody wanted something one time really, really
Yeah.
they were showing me examples of work that was like scratchboard line work, and I was like, it feels like you want a scratchboard line work artist for this, you know? And like, as literally as soon as I said
Yeah.
that, they kind of sheepishly were like, oh yeah, you're right, okay, let me call you later for something you're in. And that art director came back to me, you know, so it all worked out fine. But it was just one of those where he had worked with me before, we got along great, so I think he was like, oh, I want to give him more work. And then as
Yeah.
we started talking about it, it was like, I totally appreciate that thought, and but like, you've got a vision in mind for this one,
Oh, man.
and you know, it's not me. So
I gotta say, if I were a customer and like my, provider or vendor or whatever, if they say like in any industry, that's that to me wins kudos of
What,
being like,
saying no?
well, like just being honest and just being like,
yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
that's pretty rare. I mean, I would say if you were like new starting out, be maybe more malleable, but like, when you're at that a certain level, like that's, I don't know. We live in such a culture of like get that bag mentality, and I
Mm.
don't
yeah.
like that. And it also, um, that's cool that you did that. And I bet it I don't know. I think that wins you a little kudos.
I hope so. I mean, I can't remember. It's possible there have been times where I've turned down an art director and then they're like, well, moving on. You know, so there's
Oh yeah,
risk involved with that. But
Mm-hmm.
sure.
you know,
Um,
there are times
yeah,
where too, just a job, if you just know, I mean, you want to be willing to challenge yourself, and that's exactly what I'm doing with the cover that I said yes to. So
yeah,
I will grow from this, and that'll be a good thing. But there can be times where if the whole job just sounds excruciating to you from the start, you know, then at some point you just want to say, hey, you know, we got in this to make pictures because we like making pictures, right? And if a
yeah.
job's going to make you miserable, unless it pays just a grip of money, then maybe you can
Yeah.
see the
Right.
other way, you know. But
There's
if
like
it's
Yeah.
a
an
gut
edit,
feeling, it's not going to work kind of thing.
yeah, yeah, it's just not going to work. It's just best to say, oh, hey, let me recommend a good friend of mine. And even if they don't take the friend, I've always found art directors appreciate if you make a recommendation. And I've definitely had a few illustrators who reached out to me. I mean, again, I don't want to make it sound like I do this all the time, but like I said, the 3 or 4 occasions, I can remember at least once, if not twice, where then the person I recommended got the gig and they reached out to me, were like, hey, thanks, you know, because for them it was a good fit
It's
and they
it's
were
just
happy
good.
to
Yeah.
take the work,
Yeah,
you know?
you're just putting out good karma. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I believe in that. You put good stuff out, it comes back to you. And it doesn't feel like it immediately sometimes, but
Yep.
it does.
Hmm.
Um, is there anything you've been working on recently? Well, Scott, you did the avocado festival. That was the big announcement last week. That was cool.
Yeah, the
That was fun.
poster.
Yeah, I love that.
That's actually happening starting tomorrow, and it's
Yeah.
funny how it's for those who don't know, the California Avocado Festival happens in Carpinteria, California. It's a small beach town just south of Santa Barbara, and it's very just wonderful small town beach town vibes. They've got like a big Ferris wheel as part of it, tons of live bands, every kind of food iteration you could ever think of avocados, you know, and it's a fun time. And the weather's supposed to be great this weekend and everything, so I'm sure they're going to have a huge turnout. But this gig, for something that is local to me, the attention it has gotten is by far, without a doubt, without any question, like I have never had this much like media coverage of something. Like I you know
Mm-hmm.
like multiple interviews published. It's I've been on the news twice. It's just like it's kind of hilarious that for what was, you know, I thought kind of a like a local gig, right? You know, like it's the attention it's gotten has been kind of wild, but
Scott,
fun.
Scott, one
Exciting.
of my
It's
biggest
awesome.
messages for developing, especially for painters,
Hmm.
win in your own backyard first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. Right.
You'd
Yeah.
be surprised, just pay attention to what's going on around you, organizations, events, and man, it's Cassandra, I know you've had really good success
Yeah.
from the Richmond Festival or whatever the name of that.
Yeah, the Richmond Folk Festival. That was huge. It was very similar to like the Avocado Festival for you. Like they
Yeah.
made a big
Mm.
deal out of the poster and it was really
Hmm.
exciting. It was fun.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to have people You get to play hometown hero for 20 minutes. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And you create, you get collectors and supporters and people that are interested in you just because you're close to them. And it's a really, I think it's a great way for all artists to start thinking.
I
Yeah.
totally agree, John. It's also like, yeah, it's I mean, like, yeah, if you figure out how to like to find your local community to embrace it, you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, question from the chat that's actually very relative. Chuck Todd asked a great
yeah.
question. Have you ever done something for less than you would want to be paid because you want to do the project artwork that much? And the sad
Oh,
truth, I
yeah.
think, for
Oh,
anybody working in editorial illustration, the answer is all the time,
oh yeah.
because the rates are never what they really should be. But
Yeah.
so many times you get called for an assignment that you're just like, oh, that's going to be fun. So yeah, you
That's
jump at
why
it.
every time comedians and me editing for them comes up, I say it's a hobby.
There you go. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. For me,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just find a way to make it work, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of projects that have great value to you that it's not necessarily the monetary aspect of it. It's the exposure. Again, I don't agree with people asking, to do things for free all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
Right.
and that I've always been good of, you know, I thought I always had a, pretty healthy uh way of dealing with that. But I think it's, artists got to respect themselves and their value. But man, there's lots of opportunities that come from just, connecting or with another audience, connecting with a community, getting your work out there. It's like somebody came to you, like Scott, if Time Magazine came to you and said, "We don't have any budget for you to do this cover, would you do it?"
Yeah, I'd yell at them first.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
but
but
again,
it's
the whole
yeah,
thing.
but like to add to what you're saying, John, it's just like it's a marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
How badly do you want it? It's a
Yeah,
marketplace.
absolutely.
And if you want it, you have to decide the price that you find is fair to you because if it is a thing that, like you said, like if it's something that if it's a personal interest, it's like you have to decide like what are you willing to sacrifice for that personal interest and like I feel like a big connection with this because like I used to work commercially as an editor and I was paid really well for it probably at a scale that won't exist in the future, but you get you could back in the day when if you got like a 30-second commercial for like Wingstop or something stupid like that. I mean, that was like 10 grand to edit like
Mhm.
a 30-second spot
Wow.
that would like take like hardly, it was absurd. It was like, it was really like, I think it was inflated too much. And there's still people that do that. And then, I've done projects that take like months of my time and I'm working and they're major distractions, like everything in my life. But I'm so excited to like be in the fold with this community of people or like get to meet them and I've gotten to like travel because of those experiences and like I get stories out of it and I think that might be maybe the tougher thing for artists like illustrator artists or painters in that. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of the same for editors. You're the, if you're like in the bank heist movie, you're the tech guy that's back at home. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're not on the thing. And so I've always appreciated like when I did projects with Jeremy Collins, like even though I was just like the editor and like a little producer, like when he got invited to go do something, he was like, you got to figure out a way to bring my guy with me, you know?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Have you guys, I mean, I get, it's like you see that, I guess, in the illustration world where maybe you get taken care of and you get to be part of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
the unveiling of something or events, or you get
Hmm.
you get kind
Oh
of
yeah.
brought in.
Totally.
There's value
Yeah.
in so many different things, especially
Yeah.
when you're getting started. It's like Maybe one of the most important things that I ever did, because I got a bunch of prints out of it, but
Yeah.
I was asked, it was a free job, uh,
Yeah.
to do a piece for the art directors, Kansas City Art Directors Club.
Mhm.
Really.
And I was just out of school, and they printed my piece. It got in front of every art director, and they made a display of it at the event. Your dad actually printed it, Timmy. Um, and
Oh, my dad's like the epitome of this story, like doing stuff that just for the experience.
well, I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't through me. It was
No, no, no.
the art
I'm
director
saying like
club.
he's the epitome of like that, like doing stuff just because you want to meet the people or be part of the community or
Oh yeah,
have the resume or whatever.
Like
Like, yeah.
Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, just I mean, but I mean he did it for it was come on, stop. I mean, it was, you know,
yeah. But
uh, yeah,
things have value to you,
yeah,
value for you that you just have to recognize it and look for those values.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and sometimes the measuring stick that I'll use for a job that I go, this is not what this should be, is still to go, all right, if I said no to this, would I be sitting around drawing something like it anyway?
Mhm. Yeah.
That's a great
Might as
question,
well get
man.
paid a little bit for it.
Right? It's like,
Yeah.
well, if this is and so sometimes that's your measure on like what your lowball can be is, well, would I want to draw this? Would I, what would what, if I say no, what will I be drawing?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's another difference though from what I do is if I don't get a job to edit something, I don't edit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've never thought about that, Adam. You kind of made me realize that. It used to be, John, when I first met you, I edited stuff for fun all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was like weird. Like, I would edit, and that was like pre like Instagram Reels. So I was editing things for no one. just, just myself. Yeah. Yeah. There was nowhere. I mean, I guess it went to YouTube sometimes, but yeah, I would edit stuff all the time, but not anymore. I don't know why.
Well, you also
Um,
like help run a business, you know?
yeah, I know I'm busier. I'm busier. When I was 25, John, you remember I made that video for that? I would make fun videos
Post the
for,
note one.
yeah, the post-it note one. I did that. I did a video for companies that I wanted to work with where I could swap out one frame of it and they would think that I made this entire video for them. And
Nice.
it was like yeah, I would swap out like one shot and they would think I made this like video. And that's how I met so many people in production. And it was because and it was funny because once it caught on, a couple of people were talking, they were like, "Oh, we thought that guy was like crazy." Because that was like way too much work for like a single
Uh-huh.
company. Like, but yeah, someone's working in VR tonight. That's cool. I'm
That
excited to
is
see that one.
Wow.
I don't know how they figure out how you can export something. If you send it to me, I will figure out a way to show it. Um,
I
yeah.
love it when people like work outside the box. I remember
Oof.
there was like a time someone embroidered like the reference. That blew me away.
The embroidery is probably the coolest. I think that the tape, remember tape?
Yeah, tape was cool.
Tape is up there with like top coolest mediums used. What's the wildest medium you guys have ever seen someone use? Can you
Gunpowder.
really?
Yeah, there's this
That was so quick, Adam.
there's a Chinese artist who one of his portfolios of work are his gunpowder drawings,
Oh, that's cool. That has
where
this
he lays the
historical
whole
relevance as well. That's
he like
amazing.
lays the whole thing out in gunpowder and then lights it up and it just explodes the drawing into the paper.
That's awesome.
I had thought for a while that kind of, the most unusual material that somebody went really deep into was John's dad, Mark, when he started painting with tar, with like, asphalt tar. And then Bill Sienkiewicz beat him out when in 2016 at the Illustration Academy, Bill, I think he made you go get it, Timmy, is my guess, but it was either you or
Oh.
John.
Oh,
Where
I know
That
you're
was
buying.
John.
remember
Lighter
he
fluid.
he had to get lighter fluid, but not just lighter fluid. You had to get the lighter fluid that's for the cigarette lighter in your car. Like that's it's like
Yeah.
a specific type.
There's,
Because
I didn't even know
Bill's
that
like,
had
no,
lighter
I
fluid.
need that chemical for this technique. It was
I
just
remember
amazing.
because I had to do all the budgeting for everything, and I remember being like, "Are you guys messing with me? What is going on?
Yeah.
What is? Tell George this isn't funny anymore." Yeah, pancake batter. That's a good one. I like that. Somebody in the chat.
I've seen
Nice.
it, you know,
Well,
it's funny you bring that up about my dad and the tar. Scott, you'll get a kick out of this. It's like you saw the successes. You didn't see a lot of the failures of
Sure.
material.
oh yeah. What's the dumbest medium
My
someone tried
favorite
to
thing
use?
he tried to paint it with was caulk, like a
Oh,
Oh,
caulk
wow.
gun. Like he put
Mhm.
caulk in a caulk gun, and and
that's
he tried to draw
hilarious.
and paint. It was the biggest mess I've ever seen in my life. He actually got a handle on it where he could get, but it was just so cumbersome. He could never,
Juice was not worth the squeeze.
no, it wasn't worth
Mm,
it.
yeah. The cock gun wasn't worth the squeeze.
I actually have, well, I actually have two of them.
That's definitely one of those terms that only exists in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry everybody sorry anybody who's really confused right now.
Yes, as in the construction supply.
Yeah, it's construction supplies. Thank you,
Specify.
Cassandra. Yeah, yeah. Anyways.
Believe it, a firm believer that you should buy your art supplies at the hardware store.
Yeah, he was a big Home Depot
Yeah.
guy. Was he a Home Depot, Lowe's, or
Yeah.
Menards?
I don't think it mattered much. I mean, he actually, Timmy, he went over to on Metcalf or no on Warnell to the Sutherlands. That's because it was close to
Yeah.
his house.
Oh wow,
Any hardware store.
that's nice. Supporting a little local.
Yeah.
That's great. Adam, this is awesome. What materials are you using tonight, Adam?
I'm using gouache on this paint on paper.
Hmm.
And
Nice.
in the process of this, so something I'm just going to throw this out. One of the things I love about drawing is the fact that you start thinking shapes and you're abstract, and then as you're working on things, you just start to realize what you're working on. So like, how many of us have noticed that behind Hellboy is a gigantic Venus of Willendorf?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He's like a really this big thing behind him,
Let me see it. Oh, really?
bust line and belly of like this very famous prehistoric handheld sculpture.
Had not
Wow.
noticed that, and I'm working on the same reference.
You know what's funny is John, so you posted the original photo of the amphibian and the image of Hellboy. They have almost the identical backdrop. So not the image that people are drawing now because we swapped it out. Almost identical though. And I was just like, oh, it's amazing that like it's the exact same color palette, the background of it.
Oh yeah, I love his color palette.
Yeah.
I will like pull up his images when I'm working on a painting just to remember to and take it and use it in my paintings.
Yeah. We went with have we ever done a Guillermo del Toro night? I don't think
Yeah.
we have.
No,
We
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We blew it.
Well, there's so many. We can always
Yeah,
have a Guillermo del Toro night. Like
we're gonna do another noir night at some point. Like some topics are
Yeah.
just rich, like you
Yeah.
want.
images
Yeah.
are gorgeous. I'm always game for it.
The noir night was great. No, we went with it because John was like, we could do the new Frankenstein movie, and I was like, there's a new Frankenstein movie, and that is part of the challenge with choosing the themes for Drawing Hive, is that media is so segmented. We're trying to get something that, and this is not like a sellout thing. It's just we want to make everybody excited to draw something, and so we're trying to pick something that everyone is excited for, and so that's why we went with Guillermo instead of just Frankenstein.
well,
I mean,
the catch is too is, and I feel good when, Adam and Cassandra
yeah,
and Scott and the artists keep showing back up. I don't think they would show up if they didn't like the reference that we were drawing.
It's
Yeah.
true.
And
It's
so
true.
We got to find things that are popular, but you got to also find things that are interesting to draw. You know,
Right.
Mhm.
exciting.
Which on that topic, let's move on to the next image. Please post your. Well, here. This is the dilemma with Drawing Hive moving to Discord. I'm very excited about Discord because, and if you're anti Discord, please, just for me, give it a chance. Like it's fun. We have a really awesome server, and I'm excited to see the Drawing Hive section of it grow. So please, like, because I've gotten a few gripes, and I get it, but try to learn it. And also, if you want help, I will help you figure it out. But right now, I'm going to say, like, post work if you want. Please don't double post work, if that makes sense. So, like, at the end of the night, I'm going to ask people to post all their work. Avoid double posting. But we're moving on to the next image. You don't have to post now, but don't double post. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're trying to like trying to figure this out. I'm excited to. I'm not saying we're not going to go back to Instagram at any point, but I'm excited about this cut thread. It's I think this is a new era. You know how I said after episode 250, Drawing Hive was going to be kind of darker and more gritty. This
Uh-huh.
is this is the next chapter. We're at a new chapter, and it's the dawn of positivity.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, it's
Way to go.
exciting. It's exciting. The gritty Christopher Nolan era of Drawing Hive is over. We are it's a Discord future.
So on the subject
Yeah.
of Guillermo del Toro movies, right? Did I
Yeah,
ever tell
yeah.
you guys the story of the time that I had to follow Wayne Barlow in a career talk?
No, you gotta you gotta tell that story. That's
Yeah, I was invited to FIT. This was before I started teaching there, but to give it to critique some senior portfolios and to give a career talk, as a children's book illustrator. They said, just don't, not a big talk, just bring like, maybe 50 slides, which I know that sounds, for someone who's never done a talk, right, about yourself, like that sounds like a lot, but that's like, you're going to talk about each one of them for like a minute at the most. Like if you linger on a slide for more than a minute, um,
It's too long.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's too,
It's gonna get tough. Yeah.
yeah, so 50 is almost like nothing. But so I said, okay, I'll take 50. And every book I do is like 30 images. So again, it's like really a lot of editing. But so I did this, and I show up, and they say, okay, and here's the other artist who's going to be talking, and it's Wayne Barlow, who is like the senior creature designer for most Guillermo del Toro movies. You
No
know,
pressure.
right. And he's very nice. He's turns out he like I don't know if he still does, but he like lived at the time, he lived like one town away from me. Um and so we're talking, but he says to me at some point, he goes, "How many slides did you bring?" I said, "Well, they said to just bring 50." He's like, "Oh, I brought 300." And and then he got to go first, which he should, because he's the senior creature designer for Guillermo del Toro's movies. But he does this talk where he's showing them like his original sketchbook for like the Avatar movie and for like Pacific Rim, and these paintings and drawings and sketches and monsters, and like and then it's like he's finally done with 300, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to come up and talk about my 50 shots of my children's books now. And it was I felt
It's impressive, but that's a tough act to
it was
follow.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was a little anticlimactic after that.
I mean, even addressing Adam, like you are every bit as good of an artist as Wayne Barlow, but it's how tough is it to compete against something where major
Yes.
pop
Yeah,
culture,
exactly. Exactly.
especially among a group of art students who are going to be
Right,
so
right.
stoked about the visuals of Pacific Rim and everything, like you can't compete with that kind of level of excitement. That's
No,
just,
like,
totally unfair.
yeah, I mean, they already know who he is.
Right.
The one thing that I had going for me was I was sort of like proof that you can have a career and be anonymous at the same time. You know, like famous people aren't the only ones who pay their bills.
Yeah.
Which actually did turn out to be like a kind of important thing for college kids to hear.
That's funny.
But yeah, something similar happened. So next weekend, or 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be jurying this like art in the park outdoor fair. That I do every couple of years. One of the local counties will reach out. But one of the other artists that they periodically reach out to is Rudy Gutierrez,
Hmm.
who's this phenomenal painter and illustrator for the audience. He did the Jimi Hendrix postage stamp. He did like at least one Carlos Santana album cover that was like, oh, and he's getting like the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Society of Illustrators.
I was going to say he's newest inductee to the Hall of Fame of
Yes,
Society
right.
of Illustrators in New York. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to be jurying a show with him. It's like the second or third time we've done it together. So we always have a great time, but it's sort of funny as we walk around, the contestants they'll want to talk to him because they know who he is.
Hmm.
And I'll just get to be the guy who like hangs out with Rudy Gutierrez for the day.
Well, I will say I've never been
It's just
asked to
fun.
jury anything, so I'm impressed that you're
Hey, Timmy,
Yeah.
could we do my segment? Because I want to do it
Oh
before
yeah.
Scott leaves.
I got spaced out. Let's do it.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I have to leave early tonight.
the nerve. How
The
dare you,
nerve.
Scott?
The nerve.
It's my colleague is having a major art opening, and we're taking a bunch of students.
Oh wow.
You guys hear it? Did it
Yep.
echo?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we heard it.
Early. Okay, so I always try to, have something that's relates to what we're doing. And I don't know why I went with this. And more than importantly, I don't know why it's taken me this long to do this artist. I've done his father, but I haven't done this guy.
Ah.
And I remember in fact, I searched for the book, and I think one of the books that I had on him got lost. Um, but in one of the book, my first book I had on him, it was probably 40 years old. It had a few photos of the Wyeth family making themselves up, costuming themselves for Halloween. And so I thought of this. I thought of, well, they were very into it. They always celebrated Halloween. This is a cast of characters. I can't tell you who's who, but that's at Chatsworth. That's Jamie Wyeth with a pumpkin head on at the dining table. And so you don't know. For those of you who don't know, N.C. Wyeth is like iconic as an American illustrator. He was a student of Howard Pyle, who's considered kind of the father of American illustration. And N.C. was a big, was phenomenal early romantic American illustrator. I just can't tell you, if you haven't looked at his work, look at it. And the Wyeth family has three generations of very successful artists. Andrew being NC's son, and Jamie Wyeth being Andrew's son. This is actually a painting by Jamie Wyeth with the pumpkin head on. So it meant something. So here's the three. This was one of the more impressive shows I've ever seen. And I went to this show. I'm going to be totally honest. I was an NC fan, and I was an Andrew Wyeth fan, and I didn't know as much about Jamie at the time. And I thought, wow, I'm going to be really intrigued. And just seeing a bunch of NC originals, I knew that's where I was going to be the most interested. And I went to the show, and my reaction was, when I walked out, I have never seen at that point in my life an artist that impacted me like Andrew Wyeth.
Hmm.
An emotional content to his work that's spooky. I mean, it's just, maybe it was just the way I reacted to it, but it has this emotional content to about it that goes so deep and is so personal. And it can be very pedestrian in what he's drawing and painting. So we all know this painting, Christopher's painting,
Hmm.
maybe his most famous painting. But I'm not gonna get in and talk about each individual piece, but I want to, here's a self-portrait early on. Um, he was born in 1970. Andrew was born in 1917, and in Chatsworth because they were living in the area where the Brandywine School was, and that's where excuse me, that's where NC settled. I'll show photos of their house and stuff at the end. And they spent the most of the year there, but they did spend the summer. They had another home in Maine. And this was some early work. This was work I remember, go back and I look at it, I remember it so well because my father had showed it to me. I was trying to do, which is really ironic because I do roads all the time. And my father was trying to say, no, it's like you just have to understand. It doesn't have to be precise. You just have to understand the mechanics of light hitting the tire tracks of the roads, and then you can really invent it if you understand that. Same is true with the grass. Create a pattern and get a structure to it. And this was the work he was showing me to understand that stuff.
Mm.
Mm.
And I just fell in love with it.
Yeah. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and seeing it in person to see all the tiny little details that are in.
Yeah, and this is again, think about when I saw this show, there are so many other things I thought about. I thought about, well, I have a father who was a very famous illustrator, and what would it be, what was it like for him to experience that? And I don't know, I just emotionally, it kind of very few things have affected me like that as looking at artwork.
John, I had a very similar experience, actually. I mean, not being able to relate to it in quite the way you have, with having an artist father, but I remember I was in college and there was a show, a retrospective of his at the Portland Museum of Art. So this would have been like late 90s. And I was very much like you. I was somebody who walked into the room as like, I'm an NC fan, but I kind of just, it felt like it was the big show, it was the thing to do. So I kind of felt like, well, I'm checking this out, but I was kind of expecting to be pretty nonplussed by it.
Mhm.
And seeing the works in person and just what Cassandra just said, like there is this, for all the controlled technique of the egg tempera, when you get up close, you'll see these tiny like hatching marks and sometimes spatter. And like there's so much more activity and like kind of life to the paintings when you see them in person
Mhm.
Yeah.
than what you see in books, especially back in the 90s, the not stellar reproduction of his works. So you'll hear people say all the time, like when you see an artist's work, how it was a revelation. And I remember thinking in that moment, oh, this is what they talk about when they say seeing an artist's work. It was literally a revelation to me. I couldn't believe how good it was, and how much more full of life and energy and even violence, that was in the work that I had no idea.
It's amazing. It's like if you ask Andrew Wyeth, you know, to describe his work, he said he was an abstractionist, which
Hmm.
I think that's a real stretch. But in a way, I get it
Hmm.
because he was taking reality and really stretching it. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
again, he his point of view of seeing things at different point of view, changing point of view, looking for interesting compositions. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I have a slide at the end that I want to talk about that. But um,
Do you
he
think
was
that was
really
an attempt to be kind of sensational, or is
yeah,
it
well,
not?
he was categorized. He was probably one of the, if not the, one of the most well-known American mid-century American artists. Um, and hugely, wildly successful in all, I mean, financially, everything, and his success as a painter. But he's really labeled as a realist and a regionalist painter, which I can't go there. He's so much more than that. this work has so much personality. His distortion of figure, his distortion and composition is out of this world.
He was
Take,
also, if I recall correctly, he was very much derided by the art critics of the time. Simon Greenberg and I think Hughes, I think Robert Hughes made a point. He called him an illustrator. I mean that was meant as an insult. Like his popularity definitely he had backlash for it from the establishment fine art.
right.
And even to the point where I remember seeing Christina's World, that famous painting, the first time I saw it at the Museum of Modern Art, it was literally around the corner, like right by the gift shop or something. Like you could tell the placement of it was so telling of like, we're embarrassed by this, but we know you all want to see it. And like, oh, it was just I was appalled the first. I'm sure it's moved since then, but I was
kind of how the people treated Norman Rockwell for a long time.
Oh yeah.
right.
Yeah, in the fine arts world. But his ability to recognize interest out of the mundane of things that he saw on a daily basis was just amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
This is actually the studio.
Yeah, I love that
Mhm.
one.
NC Studio in Chatsworth. This is I could not get a good slide of this. This is the best one I could get. That's another self-portrait. This is on the cover of the book I was looking for.
Mm.
I've always just been floored by this portrait. And
Yeah.
his portrait work, this one, pretty good. But oh my God, look at these things.
Look at the hair, like the way he handled the hair.
Stunning.
Mhm.
His father was his only instructor. And he was kind of he had health issues as a child, and he was homeschooled. There's a quote here which I have to read, which it kind of just blows me away. See if I can find it. Of course, I highlighted it so I could find it. Of course, I can't find it.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah. I apologize.
Somebody mentioned this. I was going to say it earlier. Christine's World is now right around the corner from the elevator, so
Is it?
It's where I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
John,
well,
I texted you a photo of it, John, because my art school education has been running Visual Arts Passage.
Okay.
For those of you who know, yeah.
This is a quote from him. First of all, I'll start with this: is that Wyatt's father was the only teacher that he had. This is a quote. The way he was raised, he was definitely homeschooled. He was surrounded, or he was insulated on that farm his whole youth.
Wow.
And this is his quote: "Pa kept me almost in jail. Just kept me to him. Kept me to himself in my own world, and he wouldn't let anyone else into it." That just blows me away. And you kind of feel it. I mean, it's like his. I won't go on another tangent here. These are some of the Helga paintings, which were discovered much later. Won't talk much about that relationship, but I don't know. There's a life to this stuff that is
Portrait's awesome.
Yeah. I can't. This stuff is alive.
Feels like you're in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helga portrait.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
I have like a book of all the Helga work.
Yeah, I do too.
That's a great book.
Yeah, it's a great book.
I also recommend, if anybody, watching this, if you're now intrigued by Andrew Wyeth, there are biographies on both Andrew Wyeth and NC Wyeth. And my personal recommendation to people is always to read the Andrew Wyeth one, even if you like NC Wyeth, because there's so much about NC in that one and his reflections and everything. And don't read the NC one because it's so horrifically depressing, like especially at the end. It's just
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
one of the few books where as I finished it,
Yeah.
I thought to myself, I genuinely wish I hadn't read that. Like,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, just because I won't
Yeah.
get into details, but NC
No, it's
made
fine. Yeah.
some
Yeah.
choices that are horrific. But
Yes.
one of the stories that I love in the Andrew Wyeth biography is, so for anyone who doesn't know, so NC Wyeth, his dad, was one of the most famous illustrators, particularly of narrative books. You know, like he illustrated every famous story you can think of, from Knights of the Round Table to Robinson Crusoe to Treasure
Treasure
Island. You know,
Island.
whatever. You know, Treasure Island is really his probably most famous work. And there's a great recollection from Andrew in the book where he talks about the fact. So, you know, think of a NC Wyeth. He's a man of the 20s, 30s, 40s. You know, and now it's all of a sudden it's the 60s. He's an old man. He never made it as like a fine artist, really. But he's just this towering giant of illustration. But now his son, who he's so proud of, but his son has made it in the fine art world, and you know, has as a piece in the collection of the Museum of Modern Art. And so there was a night where NC was deeply depressed and was saying like pretty like I'm a failure type stuff. And Andrew basically, like, it sounded like in the story, he did all of, almost like grabbed him by the lapel, you know, and just said, knock it off. And he pulled out the painting of Old Blind Pew from Treasure Island and
Yeah.
he set it in front of him. And he said, if you had done this painting and nothing else, you'd belong in the history of art. You know, like this piece alone is so magnificent that like your place in history is assured, you know, just from that, which I just love that story. Like what a great example of a son, you know, rising to the challenge and saying, no, dad, I'm not hearing this. Like, you know, you're a heavyweight and you need to recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he certainly was. And, you know, I always think about, you know, the other, you know, wrestling with NC wrestling with the success of Andrew.
Yeah.
And that's what you're referring to. But it's
Yeah.
uh again, that experience of going to that three-generation show. And I mean, Jamie's a great painter too. But
Can paint one heck of a pig.
he does
Yes,
some
he
really
can.
stuff. He does some really interesting stuff. But Andrew Wyeth there's something mystical about it. I don't know how to explain it. And I don't I've seen it in very few artists. Or at least it's affected me that way with very few artists.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's something interesting about his like the purity of how he would see the world too. That this is another like funny brush with fame story, but I was looking at this painting, what's it called? But it's basically all these models that had posed for him over the years, like dancing around a maypole. Um, and as I was, so this is at the Brandywine Museum, which has a permanent room of his work on display. I went to college like an hour from there, so I had a class trip once, and then I just kept going back. Like every other weekend, I just find myself back there. But so I was standing looking at this painting, and I hear this woman go, "See, that's you, Mom. See, that's you right there." And I looked over her, and there's this older woman. She's got like this pure white, like bouffant hairdo, pearl necklace, this lime green Angora sweater. And I look at her profile and I go, "Oh, that's Anna Kerner, who is this
Wow.
old German lady who she and her husband were among his constant subjects." But every time he paints her, she's got like a little scarf on her head and she's wearing a house dress, and you know her hair's flying away and she's picking weeds or doing dishes. You know, it's like, and I looked at her and I was like, "Oh, yeah, there's like it's not." It was just, it was interesting to sort of like see that person and contrast them in a way with like the artist's vision of them too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's got to be cool.
right? Like not in a not in a like good or bad way, but just relative. Like,
Just bringing a reality to something that you've seen.
yeah, And in a way, it sort of like reinforces too, like, okay, he's a painter. Like he's telling stories that might not necessarily be real, but they're good for the picture.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know?
Well,
Sorry, guys. I gotta jump
Matt,
out.
thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad you were here for that, and thanks for chiming
It's
in, man.
that.
yeah.
Thanks,
Super
Scott.
Appreciate
fun.
you being here.
Great to hang with you guys as always. See you next time.
So remember this painting when I have the very last slide up of his work. Think about this painting and many of the others, but especially that one. But his his search for interesting shape relationships and compositions, you could just see him wandering and looking for this stuff. And it was all within a, very well, I guess in the summer he was doing that in Maine, but in Chadsworth, just in Pennsylvania, he was in a very, he was just on that farm.
Yeah.
And that farm had, his connection with multiple houses. And he had access to it all. And I'll explain that a little bit more. Because I saw this post that just blew me away when I read it. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Painting of a
It's a good looking rock.
good looking rock. His interesting compositions, perspectives.
Spooky one. It's on theme. You
Yep.
showed a grave site. Yeah.
But he just, great shape relationship and compositions in these things. Look at the drawing of that figure. How
Ooh.
stretched.
And the composition.
Hmm.
Always loved this painting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How simple the design.
Mhm.
Lovely.
Okay, so here's the Brandywine Museum, and its buildings were a group of mills that Andrew actually bought, and I don't know how they arranged. Adam, you may know more about it. How they arranged the museum with I'm sure I know it's a historical site too. But this was the house that he grew up in. This was NC's house that's in Chadsford. There's NC in his studio.
Mhm.
That's NC's studio. That's on the grounds at Chadsworth. You can tour it. This is,
Is this the house that's
That
for
was
sale?
that was for sure a renovation, right?
no, this no, this
Yeah,
is
that's a huge
this has been
renovation.
intact the whole time. They've never. I mean, Andrew Wyeth, he lived until
But I mean that glass looks like a renovation, right?
could be. I mean, they just kept it up. But
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
I mean, this was the second half of the 20th century that, this became a museum.
Yeah.
And, he was painting through, you know, I can't remember I want to be accurate. Um, he passed away in 2009 at 91.
Wow.
So this is a young Andrew at the easel. That's his studio, and in Chadsworth. It's an interior shot of his studio. That's his house.
It looked just like the painting.
Right.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like one of his? I mean, even the color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because look at the top of the house. The what I guess what is that called? I'm sorry. Um,
The windmill
yeah, at the top of
or
the
wind pane, sorry.
yeah. And so there's a photo of him. There it is. A photo of him But this is a post, and I left the Instagram stuff in there, the arrow and everything. That Bo Bartlett did an essay. Bo Bartlett's a contemporary painter, did an essay on this, and he was part of a film that was made during the 90s uh, on the Wyeth family and a documentary. And this painting, it's really an interesting painting. It's obviously a voyeuristic view of this couple in their home. But the way that Bo Bartlett described it, he said that anybody that knew Andrew Wyeth and his connection to all of these people and anything that happened on that farm, they would accuse him of being a peeping Tom because he would just show up. And he actually saw this, something Andrew saw early one morning while these people were still sleeping. And these were a couple that lived in the house that was originally Howard Pyle's home.
Wait, what?
And he had
That's
access.
insane.
I know. He would walk, people would just give him access to walk through their homes, to do anything to
No way.
find it. And so he walked into these people's house while they were asleep.
You know what, John? This is how you tie it into the spooky month.
Right? No
That's-
kidding.
We
That
could have
is,
we could have done that a lot more with NC.
You should have
trust
opened
me.
it with it. You should have
Yeah.
opened with that.
Yeah, but but when I read this, I was just like, "You got to be kidding me,
That's insane.
Adam! You know a lot about it. It makes sense, right?"
Oh yeah,
put
yeah,
this
no,
guy in prison.
right. No, but he would like people would just if when he's got pictures of people like sleeping, it's because they just let him walk into their houses.
I
And
assumed they were dead, to be
well,
honest.
and then he might again he would sort of say, "Hey, would you mind posing for a painting like that moment that I walked in on?"
That I saw you this morning.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, if he was around today, I feel like there might be more digging into what that's
Oh,
he
yeah.
he was cool. He liked collars.
He
Right.
That was
phenomenal.
great, John. I like that. I like you
Yeah.
that's maybe the highest you've ever ended one on. That was
Cool.
great.
Right.
That was awesome. I love that.
But as
That was a record scratch moment.
Yeah.
so look at what Andrew Wyeth means a lot to me. I mean, and he was one of the first artists I ever really looked at, and it just became more and more. The times that I didn't look at him for years, or I just kind of like put him aside, and
Yeah.
I keep, at times I've gone back and forth, and he just keeps re-entering my interest.
Yeah.
And oh my God, he's just absolutely amazing. So,
And the moral of the story is that is why you lock your doors.
right.
Also, well, you know what? He did get permission though.
Yeah.
No,
It's
yeah,
like
you're right.
Well,
It was consensual.
it
Yeah.
was
It was easy for him to get
Yeah.
permission because he owned all of that property and all those homes.
Oh my God, he
Yeah,
was
that
like,
feels more
wait
shady
a
when you
second.
say
He
it
was
like
the
that.
he was the landlord.
He owned all that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine explaining to people, be like, "Oh, you see that painting? It's because Andrew creeped into our house and like decided he was gonna paint us."
Yeah, I am. You know what, Cassandra? I ran the Illustration Academy with John for a very short window of time, and
Hmm.
I learned that artists like can be. I remember there was a time. So I lived in that warehouse, and there were some artist boys that lived above me, and they were running a commune. It was like 5 or 6 people, like, and I lived alone, but they had like 6 people up there. And when we were running the Illustration Academy, they saw this window of opportunity to rent like housing to people,
Oh,
which to me was a red flag. Like I remember like academy students being like, you know, I could live at the college dorm. This is a workshop we put on. They were like, I could stay at the college dorm, but this guy that like lives in the West Bottoms, and I'd be like, that's my building mate, and you shouldn't stay there. And I remember one of the guys that lived above me. You remember? Well, John, of course, you know Dan.
Yeah, Dan
Uh,
Vanderhoof.
Dan Vanderhoof, an amazing painter. Dan's awesome. Spent a lot of fun times with Dan, but Dan goes, yeah, I don't think we're going to do that again. He woke up and someone was painting him.
Oh, no.
And he was like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't like these intruders anymore. But I was kind of like, Dan, you signed up for it, man. I was like, I was like, you siphoned these people. You were the leech in this situation. So
That's a whole lot
yeah,
of nope for me.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, it's yeah. Somebody said what? Yeah, there were a lot of people seem a little edgy about it, and I agree. It was a different time. Uh, but also I would agree they signed up for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe not realizing what it meant, but
yeah, not realizing what it meant, but also, I don't know. I like to believe it was cool and interesting and weird. I'm up for what? Usually new experiences are pretty cool.
mm, hmm. Deep
I think
thoughts. Hi, Timmy.
That's a dorm room thought. Dorm room, college dorm room thought. Everybody, we got to move on to the last image. This is our long one. It's medium long this time. We're going to draw until the end, and then I'm going to ask you to post into Discord. I'm getting used to it. I almost said Instagram. I'm going to have you post to Discord. If you do not know how to post to Discord, do a little test. Try it out. Try it out now. Don't wait till the end. At the end, we're kind of tied. We got to get out of here. People have got to put their kids to bed, and I've got to go to bed. I've got to watch another episode of Department Q. I'm I'm really
Oh,
sorry.
that's on my list to watch.
Yeah, yeah. I got to catch up on it. So we got to be out of here at the end of the hour. So do a test, and if you don't make it this week, we'll get you next week. The good thing about this that I do love about Discord, and I just want to remind everybody, is Instagram is obsessed with curating what we see. That's the whole goal of it, is curating what you see. And on Discord, we see it all. So please give it a chance. When we go to Instagram, we see like half of the iceberg. And so I'm begging you, give it a chance. If you can figure out Instagram, you can figure out Discord. Discord does not change nearly as much as Instagram. I will tell you that. If you learn how to use it, it is way more steady than any of these social media companies.
and I can say I figured out Discord, guys. So
Yeah, I gotta say, anybody that's gonna complain about technology, John is a Discord super user. Don't even start with me. Yeah, you can figure it out. John, that's not a slight against you. You're great at it. You're doing a great job.
I'm not going to say anything.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna queue up these scary stories. We'll get into them in a few minutes.
Oh, wait, let me ask, what is everybody working with? We haven't talked
Oh,
about
that's a good question.
art supplies,
Yeah.
everyone, it's
I'll
always
queue
good
up
to
our
hear.
scary stories while you do that.
Okay. Adam, what are you using?
I am working in gouache on that paint on paper that I've been favoring lately.
What's so great about the paper? I've never used that paper.
Well, I mean, for what I've done to it today, it has buckled it feels sort of like just a Bristol board. And it's available in sort of like a tan, a flannel blue, and then this sage green that I've been using. And the paint just kind of sits right on the surface.
That's nice.
So I've noticed as I've been using paint on it, I'm getting much less of that wet, dry color shift that we all sort of expect to happen. And yeah, and it seems to kind of take a licking. Like I said, it feels sort of it seems like it should just be like a sheet of Bristol, but it's durable and friendly.
That's cool. Somebody wants to know if you have a gouache brand you would recommend because they want to try gouache.
I bounce between Winsor Newton and Holbein. But if you're starting out, those as far as gouache goes, those are both equally expensive. Lucas, Lukas, makes a really nice gouache that's and very affordable, but it's still a high quality supply.
Oh, nice.
But my preference is Winsor Newton is a little bit pastier and the Holbein is a little bit like looser. So I find if I combine the, if I'm using both of them, I don't know, it seems to break even. And there was a stretch where I thought I was sort of like buying specifically one color from one and one from the other, depending on what I wanted from them.
Hmm.
But now I just, some days, like one of them is, I go to the store and Winter Newton's out of ultramarine, but Holbein has, but yeah, so Holbein has it, so I get theirs. And then Holbein's out of,
Become more interchangeable for you.
yeah. But it's still always some combination of the two.
Someone
Nice.
asked about Cassandra. I tuned out for a second because I was doing stories. Did you guys talk about gouache?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Hmm.
Cassandra, what are you working with? Grabby?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Playing with Grabby on stone paper.
John, how about you?
I am doing, it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but um, I'm drawing with this monster pastel. It's about, it's a
Nice.
That is.
really soft
Wow,
crayon.
that is. It makes you look tiny.
It's-
And
John, how tiny are
Your
you?
hand shrunk.
Yeah, you look like a little man.
I'm doing a very big drawing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I did this, well, that's the way I started the first time I used this technique on paper.
yeah,
And this is what I did, what I started the other night.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's
I'm-
beautiful.
I got one more session. I need to finish the background and stuff, but um, this is, I'm dragging oil paint over the top of the whole thing, and I really like the look and feel of how the material works. So I'm just trying to figure it out a little bit more tonight. So this is my setup, and before we're done, this is all going to be a big blob of paint, probably. Um,
Eric
but
said,
it's
"Holy shit, John."
Yeah, that's
You
amazing,
know what?
John.
We
That's
curse. We curse on
beautiful.
the show for that.
Yeah, that is a worthwhile one.
Emphatic. Yeah, we'll spend it on that. Um, yeah, that was great, John. Nice.
Beautiful.
Before I get into spooky stories, I just want to remind everybody the fall semester starts on Saturday. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Drawing Hive is sponsored by Visual Arts Passage. That's what makes all of this happen. That's Visual Arts Passage is why you found out about Drawing Hive. I promise you. And Visual Arts Passage, what we're all about is helping art students find their way to the art industry. And we do that by creating mentorships that are really meaningful. They're in small groups and they help you, I think, one, map out what you want to do, which is a huge part of the art journey. And then the other aspect of that is finding out the skills to get there, and then basically learning how to apply that tool belt in a way in which it's applicable and effective to thrive in that industry. The best way to do that is to connect with artists that have done it already. I would say most schools, most art schools in particular, are run, operated, and taught by artists that are relatively out of the game, or they're leaning on teaching as a major crutch. And our teachers are busy. They are very busy. They're so busy they usually barely have enough time to teach with us. And the whole goal is that you get to tap right into the industry. You get to say, not only do you get input, and it's that aspect of mentorship, which is the relationship you have with an artist, and they can tell you, like, I know you love drawing this, but where do you want that to go? And they can ask you the right questions that will help you, I think, solve that problem in your head and figure it out. And so, from whether it's skill development, whether it's voice development, figuring out what your style, your voice, your place in any industry is, or really chasing down professional development, they're here to help you. And like a mentorship, it's a relationship. It really is. Our teachers will get to know you. You'll get to know your teachers well. You're also going to build a community with your fellow classmates. And I'm I'm very excited for this next semester. We've got some amazing teachers joining us. We got Nate Schweitzer, which is like Nate Schweitzer is a young gun in the industry, but is killing it. Doing cover art for Sports Illustrated. How old is Nate, John? Like
Mid-20s.
oh my God, yeah, he's killing it. I mean, it's one of those things where you're like,
Polio. I mean, gosh, his To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, I just did a
Oh,
Polio Society book.
so
Oh,
the whole goal is to connect you really with artists that are just changing the game. And then on top of it, we introduce you to guest speakers. Karen Wynn Burke, an amazing gallery painter. I am, I cannot express this more. I am so excited that Jorge Gutierrez is going to be joining us.
yes.
Jorge has been
mm,
involved with so many awesome animation projects. He's a very successful, like A-class director that works with a lot. CF Payne. CF Payne's a god in the illustration world. Iris Compiet. Iris is teaching with you this semester, John.
Yep.
Iris signed on. It was too late. We didn't really get to promote it, but Iris is going to be co-teaching portfolio development. Kyle Webster's coming back to share a ton of knowledge. Kyle was the designer for brushes at Adobe forever. He jumped ship and is doing an amazing job at Procreate, a very pro human art organization. And then Rochelle Baker. This is going to be Rochelle's first time teaching with us. I'm very excited about that. But the whole goal is to really bridge that gap from art student to art industry. We want you to be able to wake up every day and make whatever it is that you do your career. And every single person, their thing is different. And I believe we are the only program that addresses that, which is there's no way to batch this. There's no way to do this at scale. The only way to do this is to have relationships. It really is. And you know, there's been this fever pitch of industry that like they want to like optimize and make it so they get as many students as possible. And it's like, the one thing I can tell you is like, it doesn't work. You got to have a small school. And the relationships have to come first. And that's all we focus on.
To me, I'm just going to add to a couple of things. And it's like a lot, well, not all, most of our instructors have been through our education, which is proof in itself that it works. My portfolio class, you mentioned Iris, also Sterling Hundley and Dale Stefanos will both be doing sessions in there. Adam is teaching the first step, being a constructive picture maker, learning process and helping to develop your skill. Nate Schweitzer's teaching our ideations class, which is a way to, this is, I think people are are confused a lot. They think that there's a lot of illustration that does lend itself to skill and craft, but it's only part of it. And the other part is how you're going to tell the story and how you're going to problem solve. And so we got a complete class that's aimed at ideation and visual storytelling. And those are really the two big lifts that you need, the two skills that you need to start thinking about putting a portfolio together. And if you have enough skill to get your idea out there, you can be successful. And it's, I think so much education's wrapped around just skill and craft. And it's part of it. That's what we're doing in here. Everybody develops, not that you can tell from my drawing right now, but everybody develops skill and craft over time. You got to chase it. And it doesn't, and a lot of times it can be it's a lifetime pursuit. Cassandra and Ray Bonilla they teach in our fine arts program. And it's what they do. We're teaching what we're kind of actually, Cassandra's like the perfect template, of defining a direction and a personal look and feel to a body of work, and then developing an audience for that. And she's doing it, that's manifesting itself through the galleries. and she's done as good a job as anybody I've ever seen do it. And I think that's, you know, that's our outcome. And I guess I'll cut this off by saying, our outcome is finished body of work with the tools you need to approach whatever part of the industry you decide. And you have to define that. And that's a big part of our program, is defining that direction in the industry. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
All
And
right.
it's just really
Yeah.
fun to have a
It's
great
just fun.
community of artists. That it's exciting.
It is. It is. I totally agree with that.
Let's
I always get
point that
upset
out.
when people are like, I'm going to somebody. By the way, Eric, don't apologize for cursing. I've done it so many times on Drawing Knife, even
And I
though
agree
that's
with
my
that
rule.
statement. That was a
Yeah.
good reason to curse.
Yeah, it's a good reason to curse. It's fine. We allow it. Yeah, we'll let it slide. Um, what was I gonna say? It's just exciting. And whenever I hear people talk about, like, art school is about the experience, I'm like, there are cheaper ways to get that experience. Um, and this is one of them. It's affordable. Are you guys ready for scary stories? I've got I've got two, I've got two. They're not scary. Tonight's stories are not scary, but I think they are like kind of otherworldly adjacent. Does that
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
fair?
Kind of eerily odd.
Odd, odd. So we have two. One, I'm waiting, that two that were like, that were like broadcast safe, and one is from Jeff Brain, and I love it, but I'm worried I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of it, and so I'm just gonna read the one I sent you, Cassandra, which I'm really excited for. I'm gonna try to play. This is our scary story soundtrack.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
That's good. That's good.
All right. I'm gonna work really hard on this because I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up the reading. So allow me one moment. And they're short, so it's like you only have so much runway to play around. There's not a lot of room for recovery. All right. This our first story. Let me make sure I get, because it was submitted by somebody that used a pseudonym, which,
Even more fun.
yeah, I know. I'll give their name later. I just want to read it because I'm nervous about reading it. All right. Dorothy's always been a beautiful woman. She's got a face that lights up like silver when she talks, and beautiful, glossy, thick black hair. She used to hate shaving her legs, but she stopped caring so much once it started growing out of her feet. Not even the tops, just the soles. Thick as the hair on her head. If she'd let it grow out a bit, I think she'd be much more comfortable. It would be like wearing slippers, and we'd never have to dust. But she hates it so much that she shaves it every morning after I do my beard. I wish she'd do it at night, but I don't have the heart to tell her the stubble keeps me up in bed. Pretty weird. Right?
I think she's a
Just a
hobbit,
reminder,
personally.
sorry, go ahead, Cassandra.
I think she's a hobbit, personally.
I love it. Bottom of the feet.
Bottom of the feet.
I love it. It's creepy. It's kind of Black Mirror-ish, but like
Yeah,
fantasy
yeah.
Black Mirror. So the parameters, everybody, for the future episodes, 100 words. Try to keep it under it. I know that's hard, but that's part of the game. It's a little challenge. Um, Next week, I don't know what the theme will be, but I want to say that I'm texting Salacuse right now. If you don't know Salacuse, he's my friend. I met him through Drawing Hive. You guys all made that possible. I very selfishly was like, send me your art. I'm going to bribe this photographer to be my friend. Um, but Salacuse has if you don't know what it is, called the Negative Collection. And it's this awesome, amazing collection of 35
Oh,
millimeter,
it's
like all these amazing
fantastic.
slides. If you go to negativecollection.com, you can check it out. But I texted him. I said, you got any spooky photos? And he goes, I got a ton.
Ooh.
And I go, let's do a negative collection night. So we're going to do a spooky night. with negative collection, which I'm excited
Oh,
for.
that's fantastic.
I am still looking for the person that wrote that story. Okay, the story was written by K, the letter K, Simonson. Thank you so much for submitting that. I love it. It's very clever, very fun, very different, and honestly, kind of perfect for Guillermo del Toro night.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Jeff Brain, your story's next week. You got to tell me how to pronounce those words. I don't want to. I don't want to mess them up.
All right, so seriously, we want more. We want some fun, spooky stories just to add to this month of
Please, please
creepy
submit some.
drawings.
Thank you, Cassandra, for like emphasizing it. I will create a award. I will find something to give you. Yeah, for sure. Oh, Jeff's here. I messaged you on Discord. If you respond to me on Discord, Jeff, I'll do it. Yeah. Jeff was like, "Will do." Yeah, no. I love it. I think it's so much fun. The reason I participated in somebody said 100 words is tough. I participated in a 2-sentence horror story competition with Christopher the model. So
Yeah, and just know to me was like, should it be 5 sentences? And I was like, nah, you need more. You need more. Like,
Cassandra was the one that was like, make it 100. Because I was like, should we do a 2-sentence one? And she was like, she very politely was like, that will not work. Yeah, that will not work.
You just
No
do
one will
spooky
submit.
tweets.
Yeah. Someone asked John, what are you doing with that spatula?
Sure.
Making pancakes?
I'm baking paintings right now.
Yeah.
I am I'm trying to put like a ground down of wax and oil paint with a little bit of dryer in there. And actually, it's working. I was kind of unsure what it would do. Um, I've done this on birch panel, and it's not absorbent enough. So I'm doing it on the paper. It works much better.
Nice.
Wow.
And I don't know how well you can see it, but I can see my drawing coming through now. And then I'll go back into it as soon as when I get some time here. I'll go back in and I'll start. I can bring the lights into it. Pick meal. Just draw right on top of it, and it just melts right into the oil.
that's so cool.
It's,
I
it's up.
love the texture that gives so much.
Yeah, that's the fun part. It's like there's too much texture to start with, but I can pull that together with just going back in with oil paint and trying to maintain some of that energy. But when I shared earlier, I like the energy out of that. But right now the texture is all very the same everywhere. It's all very similar, so I'll have to address that.
If you decide to work on Frankenstein, I'm kind of can I give my gripe of the episode?
Yeah.
My gripe is I don't think Frankenstein should be played by hot boys. I don't like that.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, of course. John, do you know that Jacob Elordi is just John 2.0? Do you know that?
I have no idea.
Do you know who Jacob Elordi is?
He's the monster, the
Yeah,
creature.
well, he's the hunk of the moment. He is. I would, Cassandra, would you agree? I feel like Cassandra, I feel like you're probably tapped into the hunk of the moment.
Careful what you say there, Cassandra.
I actually, what else
Oh
was he
yeah, sorry.
in?
No, I was gonna say Jacob Elordi is like the hot boy of the moment. Euphoria. He was
Oh,
in.
I haven't watched that show.
Okay. He was and then he was in Saltburn.
Oh.
And then he's been in a lot of other things, and he's kind of like current day hunk.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like looking at the makeup, it doesn't seem like that his outside appearance really matters that much under all that makeup, right?
I just think that maybe perhaps this is an opportunity that could have been given to a non-hunk.
Ugly guy.
Yeah, perhaps perhaps an
It's
everyman
like,
could have
kid,
played.
here's your shot.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
somebody makes a really good point here. Sarah says Frankenstein originally in the book was supposed to be beautiful but freaky eyes. So
yeah.
Yeah.
maybe,
You know,
that's a solid point, Sarah. Thank
to
you.
what they
Nod to
said,
Mary Shelley.
define freaky eyes. I agree. Define freaky eyes, Sarah. Quick. um, I agree that if you've seen the trailer for the new Frankenstein, which after John told me that there was one, I watched it. It's they show an open scene in like kind of an Arctic territory, and I was
Hmm.
like, this is the one time I've ever seen the most cinematic scene in Mary Shelley's book brought to life, which I always thought was weird. There were no movies that portrayed the most cinematic scene in her book. I always thought that was so strange. Like the opening scene is so, it's just purely cinematic, and you don't see it in any of the movies.
It
And
makes
they
sense that Guillermo would see that and be like, I have to do that.
obviously you have to do it, and maybe it. I don't know why they. Yeah. So, yeah, and to his credit, Jacob Elordi is a really great actor. He's great. He's actually amazing in Euphoria. He's incredible.
Even if he's
Um,
too handsome.
yeah, but he's built for that role too, though.
Even if he's taken work away from schlubs.
Yeah, I want Frankenstein to be like a tall schlub. Right, Adam? Yeah.
Right.
Schlubs
Yeah.
got to unite on this one.
Power to the schlubs.
Yeah. If a monster can't be played by a schlub, then what can be? No, that's my
I love
gripe.
that this is your gripe. This is
This is
this
my
is the funny
gripe. This
gripe.
is my this is my thing that's been
I
bugging
enjoy
me.
it, Timmy. Thank you for it.
Hunk of the moment, just stealing these jobs
Right.
from the everyman.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything you've been reading or movies you've been seeing or anything that you've been loving lately?
Hmm. I didn't think about it ahead of time. I wasn't good about it.
We never think about it ahead of time. I never
I
do
do
either.
sometimes. I do.
Sometimes you try to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think if I had any good ghost stories. I was more focused on that realm.
Oh, that's a good one.
We just like, does anybody have like city lore? We have like some good lore for Richmond, Virginia. Like there's like a Richmond vampire. There's always kind of that talk.
Oh,
Mm.
city lore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
Like
good
there.
one. We have Kansas City has it, and I'm sure it changes based on like generations, you know.
Hmm.
But we have Stoll. So there's, and some of it's not in Kansas City, but we have Stoll, Kansas. If anybody
Hmm.
Googles that, and I went to Stoll. It's Stull, Kansas. Um, and I'm trying to, one second. I want to get this right. The do you guys know Urge Overkill, the band?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so their album cover is they have an EP that was a photo from Stoll, Kansas, and it's a cemetery outside of Lawrence that the church had it was a brick church with a wooden roof. The wooden roof fell apart completely, and so it's just like a perfectly stone building. I'm going to share this insanely small image of it. It was just what I could grab, people. Sorry, it's so tiny and bad. Um, you can see it here, Urge Overkill, um, and
All
it's
right.
and there was a stairwell behind the church, and if you were to, and it went down like to a cellar, and if you were to go down it, they said it was like one of the gateways to hell. That was their thing, right?
Ah,
And when you
nice.
would go down it, the big thing was that they said it took you like way longer to come back up the stairs than to go down, which I thought was a
Mm.
fun little mind game, right? But since then, they've taken down the church. They took down the church because so many people would go there. People would travel there from like all over the country. So the 5 people that live in Still, Kansas, were like, we gotta stop this. It's exhausting. Um, they were not friendly, so it was really creepy because you had to hide when you visit. I went when I was in high school. It was very scary.
Wow,
That's all I got.
I lived there for 2 years.
You lived in Stoll, Kansas?
No, I lived in Lawrence for 2 years and I never even heard about that. That's very
Oh,
cool.
really? It's very creepy. It's very creepy. The big thing that they would say is that the church. This is fun. This is fun lore. The church, the the stonework. And it's not true. It's just not true. But this is what I was told when I was like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
17 or whatever. Is that the church had stones around it, and that there was like iconography or a language written that like had not been. They didn't understand what it was. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was very like 90s movie about a devil story. but but yeah. No, you can still go. People still go there. It's still very creepy. But yeah, that's our local lore. We got a couple things. We got some like haunted houses in town, but that's
Yeah, we have a tunnel that they were building a train tunnel because like our city is famous for we have a triple crossing where 3 different railroads cross. I think it's the only place in the country that that happens. So like
is that
trains are
rare? I didn't know that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, but they were building a tunnel, and when building the tunnel, it collapsed, and I think almost everybody but one person died. And they said because the one person that survived was the vampire. And so like there was just like this whole lore around this Richmond vampire. People go
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole in that one.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Sterling did a great illustration about that.
Oh, did he really? I'll have to go find it. That makes sense that he would.
I'm also now imagining being the luckiest person in the world until everyone decides you're a vampire, and then
Right?
I guess I don't feel so lucky now.
Yeah. Well, and I'll read the room on this one. We were talking about doing like real life ghost stories, which Cassandra, I think we should do a version of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to do real life ghost story stuff, but I was like, it's got to be old. The
Yeah,
new
right,
stuff is the new stuff is too creepy and distasteful. And then you're like, if it's from the 1800s, you're like, I don't
right.
know.
At least old
You're kind
ghosts
of
were still kind of prudish back then.
Yeah. Yeah. The more modern it gets, the more like upsetting it is. Yeah. But I'm game for it. I liked what you suggested, Cassandra. And then you've also got like old Halloween costumes, which
Yeah, I
that
found
is
one.
I love it. I love it. I think it's really creepy too because some of the old Halloween costumes are so weird.
Oh, they're so weird. There's one, I didn't even send it to you. It looks straight out of The Shining. You remember that hotel room when
Yeah.
it just like at the end where they flash and it's like 2 people in costumes?
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
photo like that that I found where I was just like, wow, okay, that's a little haunting.
Yeah. Cool. Everybody, we're going to be going to post. I'm going to ask you to post images in about 7 minutes.
So specific.
Sorry.
I love it. No,
About 7 minutes.
about
Yeah,
7 minutes.
I'm trying to I'm trying to give myself some wiggle room too, though, Adam.
Yeah.
Right.
7 minutes.
I try to drop it during
36 seconds.
I'll just gonna tell people I try to drop it during lulls, And if there's not a lull, or if I'm really excited about something, I don't say it at all. Yeah. No, that's a great question, Cassandra. I mean, I remember in high school, this is maybe where I would really pity is not the right word, but feel sorry for like maybe like current like Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Like when I was a senior in high school, I did not own a phone. Like I did not have a cell phone. And so there were really upsetting things that I think probably still occur even if you have a phone, which like the experience of being left out. I think it probably that experience happens more now than it did when I was. But like you didn't have a way to communicate, you know, when I
Right.
was a kid. And so like you would get picked up and then you would go on this venture and then you didn't know you knew what no one else was up to. And
Hmm.
and I remember going to Stoll, Kansas. It was just because somebody came, picked me up. It was like a couple guys, a couple girls, and we all went to Stoll, Kansas because one person knew about it. And we were like fully off the grid. And the only reason we did it was because we were so bored. You know, it was a
Yeah, I think
40,
there is an art to boredom, you know?
it was 45-minute drive to go to just to a cemetery. There's nothing there. There's just in all reality, there's just a cemetery there, but we drove 45 minutes and we built this kind of like creative narrative with it, you know?
Hmm.
We made it's honestly, it's Santa. It's Christmas. It's fun.
Well,
You
and
know,
when
it's
you're just hanging out with friends in a car, it becomes a
yeah.
fun 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Right.
it's imagination. It's like it's more imaginative and we went and I don't think I've ever been more scared than when we went. I was
Hmm.
so scared.
Oh, I'd
And
be terrified. I'd be
and I was
absolutely,
in a
I'm a total ninny.
and by all means an adult. NC Wyeth would have been like, you were an adult man. You were 17 years old. You know? And I think that's yeah. I think that's really cool. And I think that if we had had phones, we would have just scrolled that night. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Or try to make a video from it versus just be in the moment.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, we never did. Nobody ever did that. And if people brought out phones, they'd be like, "Why are you doing that?" I don't, or not phones. I mean, if they brought out a camera, because there was a time, like when I was in high school, everybody had those like little pocket cameras.
Right.
And if you were doing something with just, especially like, yeah, they'd be like, "Why are you taking a photo? Why are you doing that? Who are you showing this photo to? Like, what's going on?" You know, it was like, "Are you a rat? Like, what's going on?" Yeah, like I don't know.
So only narcs take pictures.
Yeah, there was a period of that. Yeah. Yeah, I would be game to do a real life ghost stories. It's just tough to real life ghost stories usually involve victims, and I don't really want to do
Yeah.
that.
Well, you can do like Michelle, you kind of have a story just in that paragraph or that like sentence you just wrote there. I feel like you could
Yeah,
make that into one. Write that one in.
I like that. Yeah, yeah, it is spooky though. What's the spookiest thing that spooks you guys out the most?
Snakes.
Snakes, snakes.
I don't even have to think
This is
about
just a very real thing. Would you rather
That's
deal with a
very
ghost?
Indiana Jones of you. I
Yeah,
hate
John.
it.
snakes.
I would rather deal with just about
Snakes.
anything.
Why did it have to be
Besides,
snakes? Why did it have to be
that's my
snakes?
life.
Yeah, my wife Denise can't even look at pictures of them.
I can't either.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, like looking at them in a book and like turning the page, just not being able to touch the page. And it stems from I'm an East Coast kid that grew up in
Yeah,
Fairfield County and Reading, Connecticut, and my parents were from Texas, and they would ship me down to Texas in the summer,
yeah.
and I saw snakes. I saw rattlesnakes and water moccasins, and I was like, I don't want that to be part of my life.
Ah, man, I don't mind snakes, but spiders and centipedes. This is nightmare feel. This happened to me yesterday on the topic of big fears. I got in the shower. Talk about a vulnerable moment.
Right.
Centipede, big
Oh,
one.
a friend
Oh
of mine was telling me a story like that too, where she said she was like looking at, she said she really tried going like, this is one of God's creatures. Maybe
no,
I could concentrate on it and make it beautiful.
no.
No, 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 can't do that.
No, no, this was a big one, and I screamed like like the Will Ferrell shriek. I screamed
Yeah.
like that. It was so
Nice.
bad. And then Adam, yeah, Adam, yeah. I mean, like Elena Tedman has convinced me to like not hurt mice or rats because of her like love for rats. Centipedes, nobody could ever convince. if you're a centipede in my house, you are a dead centipede.
Yeah. Now, and the things
Yeah.
people tell me about them that they'll eat your
Yeah.
other pests. I go like,
Yeah,
what?
they do eat a lot of good bugs. I
Right,
will say.
right. But they'll say like, well, they eat your cave crickets, and I was like, the cave crickets are cute compared to the house centipede.
Yeah, that to
Now
me
I'm
just
now
sounds
I'm
like that just sounds like a villain.
and now I'm like, save the cave crickets.
Yeah, yeah, I'm team cave cricket in that situation for sure. I need to train my cave crickets to eat the
Yeah,
centipedes.
right.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I don't find spiders or centipedes or anything like that. I mean, even they don't doesn't bother me at all. And but snakes, oh my God.
My nephew is definitely afraid of spiders, and I'm very afraid of spiders too. I don't like them. They make my skin crawl.
You
And
know what? I'll tell you what. Do me a favor. Spotlight my video. I'm going to tell you my favorite spider story,
I want to hear this.
but it requires
But
video.
we need a visual.
Oh
So
yeah,
This is
I
good.
have
love
a
this.
friend.
This
I'm
is good.
for
This is
this.
a
I
Halloween
think that's all you have
episode.
to
Bring
know.
it, Adam.
I have a friend from Australia, and so his sister and his parents still live there, and his sister would post pictures of like her crazy bug experiences, and on Facebook, and he'd get like kind of nostalgic about them, and so this one day she posts um pretty much it's gonna be like this photo.
Oh yeah, those guys are huge. I
Right?
know totally what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I wait for it. And he's going, oh, I love her. That's so great. She's like, yeah, yeah, you know what that's because it wasn't your truck that he was on. That's my blinker.
Those guys are so big.
He's like,
Wow.
this was the blinker on her F-150 compared to the spider on the
That's
side of
Oh
her.
my
terrifying.
gosh, yeah. They say that again, that one is good for your house, but I don't know that I would be able
No way.
to
Is that like an East
handle
Coast
seeing
thing?
that guy scurry around.
Yeah.
Is that like an East Coast thing? That's terrifying.
East no, that
It's
was
an Australia.
Australia thing.
East Coast of Australia thing.
East Coast of Australia.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
East Coast.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I am logging into Discord as we speak. I'm trying to get this set up. I got of course I get locked out right when I'm supposed to do this. Um, please. So this is the goal. I know we all want to like chat and on Discord and stuff, and I like that. We should do that after the app. But when we post the work, don't post too much like in terms of captions and stuff. Please post your artwork starting now to Discord. Try to just stick to the artwork. Don't do too much chatting or anything like that because we just want to see the art. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
We
then
want an easier
yeah,
scroll.
it'd be an easier scroll. And then at the end of the app, I'm definitely gonna recommend like you guys
Chat
connect,
away.
follow each other on Instagram, do all that stuff. It's awesome. I'm gonna figure this out.
Instagram or Discord?
Discord. Did I say Instagram? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, please post to Discord. My apologies, everybody. This is a big shift for me. I've been doing this I'm trying to untrain myself.
Mhm.
Oh, you can unspotlight me. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh no. No, that was fun, Adam. I like that.
That's awesome.
Have you guys ever seen a wolf spider that has babies on it?
Oh yeah.
In your the place I rented to you.
Yeah, John. Did you experience that before you rented it to me, or did you experience it with me?
No, I wanted you to
Find out on my own.
find out on your own.
Yeah, I found out on my own because Vincent
No,
Nappy was.
the first time I saw him was when I was with you.
Oh my God, that haunted me so much. I remember like I was one of those situations where it was like I just had a mattress on the floor when I moved in, and then I killed a spider, and like a million baby spiders flew off of it, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I was literally just like, they own this apartment now, and I
Merely a
am
guest.
just, yeah, it was terrible. It was horrifying. I remember I poured like I was so desperate. I poured like rubbing alcohol like around my bed because I was just like anything to keep the baby spiders away.
No,
It
I mean,
was
look, when was the last time you ever heard any, like, horror story that involved like orphan revenge?
baby spiders crawling into your ears, Adam.
Well, no, any orphan seeking revenge on the killer of its parent. I mean, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I
never.
created a Batman. I basically created a Batman.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't even think about it that way, Adam.
Oh, I'm here to help.
But
Yeah.
now
I,
you can.
I do remember when I first moved in there and being like, this will be easy. And then it was like the first night and just being like, this is terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be like a big, like, as a kid, like if I closed my eyes, something was always behind me. It's like every noise freaked me out. If I turned my back onto an empty room, I could just feel things.
I've never run faster than up the stairs from any basement.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
And then one day my mom was like, "Yeah, out of you and your brothers, you're the only one who ever like felt anything in the house." And I was like,
Felt
"What?"
anything?
Like, she's like, "Yeah, yeah, no, there was a really angry presence in the corner of your brother's room
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
wild. I
by the
love
stairway going up to the attic." And I was like, the thing that this actually changed my life because I went, "Wait a minute. That room never freaked me out." So you're telling me that it really is all in my head because I don't notice the actual haunted room, but everything else makes me jump. And I was like, I can go anywhere now. This is great.
Love it.
I could sleep in a haunted mansion now, and I would be the one guy who didn't notice anything.
Really, that moment cured you.
It kind of did. Granted, there was still the moment where I was home by myself, and my wife and kids were down visiting her mother, and this was like the year after my father-in-law passed away. And I came in from like playing a show. It was like 3 in the morning, and I just sat down on the couch. And I never watched TV, but I was like wide awake. So I said, "Okay, I'll turn on the TV." So I hit the power on the remote, and instead of the TV turning on, the stereo turned on, which is not in any way connected to the remote. And it came on to like the lowest station on the dial, which is just white noise, and the volume was up all the way. And it just
Mm.
and then I couldn't figure out how to turn it off because obviously the remote didn't really work on it. And so I got up, I turned it off manually, and then this little toy talking monkey that we'd forgotten that the boys had had like 5 years earlier, started from the bottom of their toy chest, started going, "I
Oh no.
love you. I love you."
this is terrifying.
So
So I,
you,
so I,
did you
I
leave?
at 3 in the morning, so I sat on the couch, my back to the wall, eyes wide open. I texted my wife, and I'm going like, well, she's going to sleep through this, but I want her to call me in the morning. And she calls me right back. She's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Wait, why are you calling me back?" She said, "Well, because just this second, Ian woke up and came running down the hall into my room crying because there was a shadow of someone at the foot of his bed."
Ooh.
Oh.
Like at the same moment that the
Turns out it
monkey
was
was
Andrew
talking about.
Wyeth. Turns out it was
Right.
Andrew Wyeth.
Quiet.
And here's the painting.
I just wanted to give you my painting.
That's
Yeah, that's great. You guys ready to see some art?
Yes, please.
Hey, for
Oh,
anybody
Gary, look
for
at
anybody
that.
who's new, I just want to say Gary's been drawing with us from day one. Look at all that.
Look
Wow.
at that.
Beautiful.
First of all, not only is it amazing, you get better from drawing more. Those are
He was already
stacks.
good. He was already
Yeah,
Good
really
he was
job,
already
Gary.
good. He's already good, but
Thanks for sharing that.
he's the LeBron of our situation. All right.
right.
Sorry. There's going to be some jumpiness. We're getting used to it, people. This is awesome.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Amazing. I love it. Nice.
Ooh, that's
There we go.
cool.
Good
Excellent.
stuff. Lots
Really
of good.
nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm zooming in on the
Oh,
anything that's
Oh, that's
grid.
great.
I zoom in on the grid, everybody. Just so you're
beautiful.
wondering.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. Awesome.
Really
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
Any night that Tyler tunes in is a good night.
Yes. Great
Oh,
job.
wow. That's awesome.
Yes.
First time here. That's awesome. Welcome.
Welcome.
That's awesome. Welcome. Love a new
Oh, that's
person.
wonderful. Oh, that's lovely.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Great
Heck
job.
yeah.
Those are cool.
Good
Really
stuff.
nice.
Uh-huh.
3.
Nice, Jen.
That's the
Nice.
way to handle that one.
Yeah.
Great job.
Ooh, yeah.
Good
stuff.
job.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting the hang of this, so give me
Yes, you
some
are.
break.
You're doing
Sorry.
great.
Nice,
Really
Terry.
nice, Terry.
Ooh.
Good job.
Good
Yeah, that was
stuff.
hard to have that
Ooh,
one
that's
there.
great.
Oh, I love the post-it note always.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
That's
Nice,
Andrea.
Andrea.
That's beautiful.
Great job.
Ooh.
Oh, that's fun. Great.
Yes.
That's a really nice drawing.
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
Good stuff.
You're wonderful.
Never enough time.
Nope, there never is.
Oh man,
Ooh,
Brian, that's
Wow.
killer, man.
that's awesome.
Nice.
Wow, really good job.
Yes. Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm.
Oh, I like what you did there. Really cool. Nice job.
Felicity.
Ooh, nice,
Oh,
Felicity.
Felicity. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you did them all there.
Nice.
Ooh, potato profit. Good job.
Wow.
Ooh, Alberto, I love that. Really nice.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. What's going on here?
Oh, okay. They're showing what they've worked with. I like
Oh,
it.
cool. Oh,
Great
nice.
job.
Neat.
Good stuff. Oscar in a supermarket is kind of that's awesome.
like
I love
that.
it. I
Yes.
love it. I'm trying to
Oops.
find my place. I lost
You're
my
lower,
place.
yeah.
It jumped. It jumped.
Ooh,
I
that's
swear that's a glitch. Yeah,
cool.
that's great.
Really nice.
Adam's ghost. That's
Good
coming out.
job. Yeah, right?
That's right.
Wow,
Oh,
Peter.
nice, Peter.
My gosh.
Wow.
Peter's
Dude, you
killing
did
it.
all 3?
What? Also, look at the people.
man, look at
the
that.
people in the. He
Look
did
at
the
that
audience.
sleeve.
You know what I
And
love
audience.
about the top one about Victor? It looks like NC Wyeth.
Mm,
Yeah.
really
Same
good job.
haircut.
Nice. Ooh, those are great.
I love that. That's like,
Mhm.
you know what? That is. I would put those on the wall, all 4 together. That's awesome. That's a
Yeah, that was
collection.
cool. Ooh, those are really good too.
Yeah, I
Too,
need to click on them.
Yeah.
Nice stuff.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Way to simplify and create power.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Great job. Really
Love it.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ooh, wow.
Oh,
Good
wow.
stuff. That's awesome.
That's
I love that one.
fantastic.
Drum
Yes.
roll,
Bring it to
please,
the
for Nicole.
bosh. Whoop,
Yes.
Really great.
They all have their
Oh,
place.
so
They all have their
So fun.
place.
it's
Ooh,
Michelle.
that's good.
Ooh.
Really good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amazing.
Dang, Robert.
That's
That was
right.
good.
Oh, awesome.
That's cool.
Awesome,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Love
That's
it.
very fun.
Jeff, your scary story, it's up next week. Everybody, please submit a scary story. Email it to timmy@visualartspassage.com or really like respond to any of our emails with it and it'll go to me. So it would just be so nice if you sent it to Timmy.
We're excited about this.
I'm like pumped for it. I really want
Yeah.
to read some scary stories.
Valerie, that's so fun.
Yes.
Great job. Well done work. Ooh, Chuck, that was awesome.
Whoa, Gary.
Gary, so good. Ooh, that's really, man,
Oh my gosh.
y'all brought it.
Really,
Yeah.
everybody
All
did.
so good. Eric, I love it. Yay, Joy Boy. Ooh,
Nice.
oh, it's so tiny. That was really
It
good.
really was. Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fun. Great job.
This is the best.
Wonderful.
Oscar,
Great
Isaac,
job.
Michelle, nice.
Love it. Ooh,
This
that's
is awesome.
cool.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Put it in the scene.
nice,
Nice,
Winter.
Winter.
Oh.
Great job.
That hood.
Oh, I love all of them together like
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, lovely. These are all really good.
Yeah.
Really
It's a
great.
great night, gang.
That's our last one. Amazing Hellboy.
Potato profit.
I love that we landed on potato profit. Great job. Good line
That's a
work, really.
that's an awesome one. That was really fun. We've got some fun theme ideas for the rest of the week. Or I mean, the rest of the month. Um, I think Halloween is like, John, you weren't here for when Chris suggested this, and I'm just gonna pitch it. Chris was like, we got to do a head body swap episode where we have a collection of heads to choose from and a collection of bodies to choose from.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that might
super
be
fun
that
idea.
might be Halloween material. Cassandra, we're definitely doing yours, and then I think we might do a negative collection night. So everybody, we got a fun month of scary stuff. Please submit your scary stories to Timmy@visualartspassage.com, and then also, you know, enroll. Check out visualartspassage.com for our mentorships on illustration and fine arts. If you want to make a career out of being an illustrator, whether it's comics, whether it's editorial work, whether it's publishing, or if you want to work with a gallery, we have classes that help you pave the way to that. So go to visualartspassage.com. Classes start Saturday and Sunday, so don't wait. Call the school. You'll talk with me or John. It'll be a great conversation. I promise it. October is my favorite month for Drawing Hive, though. So come back next week. Bring a friend. Get a friend that hasn't been drawing for a while and say, you got to do this. Please. All right. That was so much fun. Adam, Cassandra, John, always love hanging with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Happy Halloween,
Appreciate it.
people.
Yes.
Keep it spooky, folks.
Yeah, keep it
Come
spooky.
join us for a class.
Send us scary stories and join us for a class. Do it.
Yes.
It's your homework. All right, bye.